Five Nights at Freddy's is a horror game series known for its complex lore, which heavily relies on players' efforts to be pieced together. With early installments opting for a vague way to present their story, great confusion has been created among the fans, and many aspects of the franchise are being lost in the chaos. From old theories that became canon to essential events that need to be understood for the comprehension of the story, it's important to separate what is canon and what is a result of consensus among the players. Warning: this article contains spoilers for the Five Nights at Freddy's series. FNAF, Security Breaches setting is very different from the original games. Previous installments were set in a single confined space, which not only contributed to their tense atmosphere and horror, but also allowed for creative storytelling tactics. There was no way to present players with lore directly like others in the genre, because of the limited environment FNAF was set in. Therefore, the series had to rely on other methods to do it, such as randomized, creepy newspaper appearances, suspicious phone calls and post-death minigames. Despite this having made Five Nights at Freddy's very interesting and unique, its supernatural nature combined with its unusual way of telling a story made its lore difficult to piece together. Five Nights at Freddy's unique setting and overall scariness inspired various other indie horror titles, and taking that away was one of the reasons Security Breach is the lowest rated game of the franchise. However, these qualities also made the lore confusing enough that players have lost track of what's actually canon. Some things which are taken as facts are just well-accepted fan hypotheses, while others which are part of the canon are completely overshadowed. There isn't a culprit or victim for FNAF's Bite of 87. The Bite of 87 is a well-known event in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. According to the game's lore, in 1987, there was an unfortunate accident involving an animatronic malfunctioning and biting someone's head, severely injuring them. Because of this, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was deemed unsafe to the public and closed shortly after. Although most fans of FNAF have heard about this incident and know what took place, most don't know that the people involved remain unidentified. There are many theories about the perpetrator. Many believe that Foxy was responsible for FNAF's Bite of 87, given that one of the robot's core features is its broken jaw. Others suggest that Mangle is the culprit, because of its iconic jump scare, in which it descended from the ceiling and bit the player's head. A few also point to Withered Freddy, due to the events of the fourth game, in which another version of Freddy attacked a child. However, the games still haven't disclosed which animatronic was responsible for this incident. As for the victim, many believe that Jeremy Fitzgerald, the protagonist of the second game, was the one who was attacked, after being moved to the day shift. But there are no signs of this being true. So, despite many having taken this as canon and real to the series, most of the known facts about this incident are still results of speculation. The origin of FNAF's puppet was confirmed by the games. While the puppet isn't a recurring character in FNAF Security Breach, it's iconic to the franchise and known for being the one responsible for assigning each of the main victims an animatronic for them to haunt. It's played an important role in the overarching story of Five Nights at Freddy's, but for a long time, its origin remained unknown. However, some fan theory suggested it was controlled by William Afton's first victim, and they were confirmed in other games. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, a post-death mini-game depicted a child being murdered outside the restaurant while a party happened inside, followed by a jump scare of the puppet. At the time, many suspected that this was the origin story of the character, a victim of William Afton who later possessed the animatronic. But, for many installments, this, like many other aspects of the lore, remained in the field of speculation. Until Pizzeria Simulator, which, despite the FNAF game's rank based on scares, had a mini-game that confirmed this hypothesis. In it, players took control of a robot called Security Puppet, and they were supposed to watch over a child with a certain bracelet. After a while, the child ends up locked outside and is found dead, with car tracks near them. The puppet then fuses with them, confirming that this was the origin story to the iconic teary-eyed animatronic. William Afton's name first came from the FNAF novel's character names remained unknown for a great part of the Five Nights at Freddy's series. However, as it grew in popularity, more material was released in which fans were able to find some of them, such as Michael Afton and Henry Emily. This allowed FNAF's main cast to be identified, including its main villain, William Afton, a significant character that even appeared in Security Breach's best endings. William Afton was responsible for the murders that began the series' supernatural story, as his victims possessed the animatronics that tried to kill the player. He was spoken of in the first game, through various newspaper clippings in vague terms, as the main suspect who remained unidentified. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, he became a returning antagonist with a proper character model. For a long time, players called him the Purple Guy, due to his appearance. Five Nights at Freddy's kept its villain anonymous until the series' first novel, The Silver Eyes. The novel explored the backstory of the creators of Fazbear Entertainment, Henry Emily and William Afton, the latter of which would later be responsible for the murders that led the company to ruin. After FNAF became a popular horror franchise, he was named for the first time, but, since the novels weren't part of the universe in which the games took place, many were suspicious about this discovery. However, the initial cutscene of Five Nights at Freddy's sister location finally made Purple Guy's real identity known. Most of FNAF's lore is just speculation. Although some parts of the lore are well established in canon, most of it comes from fans speculating about the various aspects of the game and designing their own theories. Scott Cawthon, FNAF's original developer who retired amid controversy, created a setting that was perfect for revealing lore piece by piece. He was known for hiding clues and hints about his plans for the story in various places, such as hidden environments, trailers, and teasers. This helped the franchise to grow, as players united to speculate about the game's story. And it was also the main reason Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was doomed upon release. While many were expecting a continuation of the previous installment, FNAF Help Wanted, clarifying some points of the lore, that wasn't what happened. Instead, the game tried to keep the unusual type of storytelling introduced by the originals, but its environment didn't allow for that. With Security Breach's enormous megaplex, inspired by real arcades, the newest installment would have benefited for a more direct storytelling style, with players picking up letters and items that revealed new aspects of the lore. But, as of now, fans have gotten a game that's full of references to the franchise's past, but feels disconnected from the rest of the series. The franchise's players and longtime fans were greatly responsible for the popularity of the games. They managed to build a web of fascination and mystery around the series, mostly as an attempt to lead themselves to the lore behind Five Nights at Freddy's, one puzzle piece at a time. This created a story that's so inseparable from fan theories that some of its core aspects are either left forgotten or completely misunderstood. And, with security breaches ending having set up a sequel, players will need to keep track of them in order to theorize about the future of the franchise.
My heart returns to